Whoa, it's me. It's my face. I'm here. I know what you're probably wondering. Why? Why are you doing this? And the answer to that is, on with the video. So the title of this video is Best and Worst of JoJo. And you might be wondering, well, who are you to decide what's the best and worst? It's everyone's opinion, and you're right. It is everyone's opinion, including my opinion. But in all seriousness, even though this is kind of my subjective opinion, there is some objectivity to it. So I am kind of down to debate, but at the same time, some of these opinions are not going to change, despite how much logic you hit me with it. I'm sorry guys, but these are just my favorites. And the title of favorites and least favorites of JoJo doesn't really blend as well as best and worst, so I'm sure you guys can kind of understand why I did this. Also, side note, this is all completely unscripted, so this is definitely going to be terrible, and I'm probably never going to do it again. I'm already regretting it. So the categories I'm doing for this will be protagonists, fights, Joe Bros, minor villains, villain groups, which, I mean, you already know which one's going to win that, power systems, main villains, JoJo's, and parts. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, protagonists and JoJo's? Aren't they the same thing? No, they aren't the same thing, you fucking idiot. You will see my actual point later on, so I'll get to it. So let's just start with protagonists. So first, let me define protagonists. So this will include characters like Kokichi, Bucciarati, Polnareff to some extent, Yasuho to some extent. This isn't just about the JoJo's, it's about the characters that drive the story. And I'm going to start this with something I don't think will be very controversial, that being Giorno from part 5. So here's the here's the thing about Giorno. I like Giorno as a character, I love Giorno as a character, but as a protagonist, as an acting MC, he does not work for many reasons. Number one would probably be that he's just so goddamn perfect. Like, have you ever seen Giorno actually question anything he does? I kind of go into this in my part 4 video, but that video is also terrible, although it's probably better than this one, so... Anyway, Giorno's just not very fun to watch, and it's kind of why people treat Bucciarati as the protagonist of part 5, you know? Like, Giorno's the JoJo, sure, but whenever anyone says the main character, it's, oh, you mean Bucciarati? This is for a reason. It's just, I don't know, he's not very fun to watch. He doesn't really drive the story in any way. He never has any self-doubts or questions, and it just, in my eyes, creates a less interesting story. In fact, yeah, Giorno's boring. That's what I'm trying to say. Giorno is boring. Giorno? Boring. Oh my god, this is so terrible already. I might not upload this. Fine. Now for the best protagonist, and this is without a doubt, no question in my mind, I will probably never change his opinion till I die, Johnny Joestar, 100%. Johnny Joestar is fucking goated, okay? He's a top 3 or maybe 4 manga main characters of all goddamn time. And it's because he's so different from anything we've ever gotten in the series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. First things first, Johnny is straight up fucking evil. Like, this guy does not give a shit about anything you say. All the characters have these kind of like complex motivations for why they want to get the corpse parts. Like, oh, I want to give it back to the church because that's where it belongs. Or, oh, I need to save this child who's going to be executed, or I need to save America, you know, it's my duty to protect my country. And Johnny's just fucking here like, I just want to walk, to be honest. And I know that sounds like a good reason at first, but when you compare it to everyone else's, it's just really selfish, and it's all about him. That combined with not only his like ability to kill, but basically his kind of bloodlust, and Gyro just has to watch and fear as Johnny just goes on a fucking rampage across the entirety of the United States. That combined with the fact that Johnny is also the weakest JoJo, not even physically, more just mentally and emotionally. He's not really in a good mental place. He's kind of fucked up. He hit the highest highs, he was fucking bitches, he was getting money, and then boom, one shot to the back, and his whole life was ruined. He's just so insecure, so messed up, and I don't know, it's just so not JoJo, you know what I mean? But it's perfect. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, it's so good. I love Johnny to death. And we're not even gonna talk about his relationship with Gyro, okay? Because, what was next? Fights. Worst fight in the series? Probably Dragon's Dream. That whole fight was just a confusing mess in every single way. And being honest, it's probably got to do with why I hold a lot of kind of, well, not hatred, but disliking towards part 6. Because, I don't know, in my mind, I think of part 6, I'm like, oh yeah. And then I think of the Dragon's Dream fight, and I'm like, Oh yeah. Let's just start with how goddamn confusing it is. So the whole stand is about like Chinese direction magic, and Araki kind of explains it, but not very well, and then we just kind of go on with the fight, and it's just but at the same time, it's over-explained. Like, the whole fight is... They dedicate, like, 2 whole pages to Anasui trying to explain this Chinese direction magic to the audience, and I was still just sitting there completely lost. It was like playing Kingdom Hearts, okay? Despite the fact that all they do is explaining, you're still sitting there like, yeah, this makes no fucking sense. Although I will admit, Jolene is an absolute badass in this fight. Like, she really goes off. We get a lot of Foo Fighter stuff. We got a lot of Anasui and Jolene interaction. But that being said, the fight is still garbage. I don't really care. I've seen some fucking monkeys online defend this fight and be like, oh, it's one of the best in the whole series. Oh, Dragon's Dream. Oh, Dragon's Dream. And like, I have to just wonder, like, what is wrong with these people? How far will they go just to defend their precious Part 6? To the point where they're actually pretending like the Dragon's Dream fight isn't complete dog shit. Okay, so now I want to talk about my favorite fight, which is, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional while thinking about it. Diego versus Valentine. Jesus fuck. This fight. Oh my god. This fight was honestly one of the first times I had just been jumping up and down and screaming in my chair while reading a manga. Like, oh my god. Villain on villain fights in JoJo are always, they blow me away. They absolutely blow me away. The whole fight is just Diego killing Valentine over and over again, and Valentine just keeps bringing himself back in the most just frustrating ways, and you're just sitting there rooting for Diego so hard, like, I believe in you, dinosaur boy. And he keeps trying, and not only that, Hot Pants was in the fight, but then she left the fight, and Diego was just trying so hard, and he's so good, but Valentine is just too smart. Okay, the fucking water. So if anyone hasn't watched the fight, Valentine, basically, he can travel to different universes if he's in between 2 things, and it gets to the point where Diego keeps kind of like hunting him down and getting him into more open areas and making sure he's not in between 2 things. But Valentine also, at the same time, is just kind of, you know, trying to outsmart Diego in his own ways, and it gets to this point where literally Diego kills Valentine again, and Valentine brings himself back because water falls on his dying body, and because the water is touching him and the floor, he's in between the floor and the water, he's able to come back. There's so many ups and downs of this fight. Like, it's just so many emotions, and it brings you on this entire journey, and it ends with Diego dying, and oh my god. The whole fight was just, it was amazing. It was a piece of art, if I'm being honest. Now for Joe Bros, and we'll start with the worst. I'll go for honorable mentions, because the thing about Joe Bros is they're much more emotionally connected than the other ones. So we'll go with honorable mentions here. So for worst, I'm going to go with Caesar, and honorable mentions Hermes, because they basically fill the same roles for me. That being that both of them promise a lot, especially Hermes. Hermes is always marketed as kind of like the main JoJo of Part 6, and it'll be her and Jolene kind of, you know, like standing back to back, like posing really cool, but like really, okay, so let me hit you straight right now. How many fights does Hermes feature in? 1. One fight. Literally one. Unless you count her throwing the spear at Poochie at the end. Literally one fight. So yeah, the real JoBro of Part 6 is Foo Fighters. Fuck Hermes, that's what I'm saying. All my homies hate Hermes. Caesar, I hate for my own personal reasons. He's just a fucking bitch. I'm kind of like Joseph in that way. You know, the first time Joseph met Caesar, he was just like, oh, I hate that guy. Something about him, I don't know, he just fucking pisses me off. And I don't know, I just feel the same way. I just feel like Caesar's just kind of a punk bitch, you know, like, fuck him. He dresses like a retard. Look at those fucking suspenders, bro. They're backwards, idiot. Oh, I have to do the best one. I was wrapped up in the rant. My head is spinning right now. It's just thinking about Caesar. So, here's the thing about the best JoBro. My brain and my gut both tell me Gyro. Because Gyro's so perfect, you know. He's a mentor and a best friend to Johnny. He's the moral good to Johnny's moral obscurity. He's so cool. He's so confident. He's so interesting. But my heart, not my gut, not my brain, my heart My heart tells me Okuyasu. I mean, just look at this boy. He is so goddamn adorable. Him and Josuke are, honest to God, my favorite bromance in all of fucking anime, okay? Nishinoi and Tanaka, nothing. Naruto and fucking Shikamaru, dog shit. Goku and Krillin, I'm talking about Goku and... Even Luffy and Zoro don't even compare to how much I love Josuke and Okuyasu, okay? These boys make my heart throb. Just look at them. I can't see them right now, but look at them. Just look at them. They're so goddamn adorable. Oh my god. Oh my god. Was I making a point? Did I make a point that... I don't know. So now, worst minor villain. I'm gonna go with Alessi for my worst minor villain. Alessi can just suck a whole bag of dicks. Like, I don't know. This guy's a prick, right? But not like the Chocolata prick, where it's like, it's a lovable, like, you love to hate him kind of prick. He's just a prick. Like, he's just annoying. He's loud. He's in your face. He's a prick to the audience instead of the characters. Like, Chocolata is a prick to Giorno and a prick to Mister. Unless he's a prick to me, he's a prick to you, he's a prick to the... His fight with Polnareff was kind of funny, but Polnareff made it funny. Like, he had his fucking shit in the girl's titties. I don't know if I can show it or whatever. But Polnareff made that fight funny. Unless he didn't make it. Unless he isn't funny. He's not funny. End of the line. Unless he's annoying. Fuck him. Now for the best minor villain. The best minor villain, you ask? Funny story. The best minor villain is fucking Diego. Oh my gosh, it's Diego. It's Diego so hard right now. How do I put into words the love I have for this character? Diego, he's just... Oh, he's perfect. Can we talk about the fact that this guy turns into a fucking dinosaur? He turns into a dinosaur. He turns into a dinosaur. He'll turn you into a dinosaur. He'll turn your mum into a dinosaur. He'll turn your goddamn body pillow into a fucking dinosaur. Like, it's just such a cool ability. And I think it's honestly the cherry on the top. I should start talking about his actual character and why I like him. So first of all, the idea that he's an alternate Dio is just set so quickly and so perfectly. The whole point of Dio was that he was kind of this, is he born evil or is he, is it nature versus nurture kind of thing? Diego is nurture. Diego is not inherently evil. He decided to basically be a prick because everyone was a prick to his mother. It was behavior learnt through observation. Unlike Dio, who Speedwagon basically just fucking... He's evil! Like, what the fuck? How's it, what, you could sniff evil? What the fuck? Which I'm not saying is better, but for me at least, it's much more interesting. Because it gives a solid explanation for why he acts the way he does. That's not just, oh, he's born evil. It's more like, oh, it's a reflection of the world or whatever. I don't know. In my head, it's better. The fact that he's probably the most competent jockey in the whole Stillball Run race is just, a +1. Like I said, his fight with Valentine is just so beautiful. Also, can we talk about the fact that this guy has no loyalty to literally anyone? The amount of times he teams up with people and then goes behind their back and then teams up with another person and then goes behind their back. He's the absolute definition of true neutral. He is in this shit for himself and nobody else. Which, by the way, who does that remind you of? Oh yeah, fucking Johnny. Because Diego and Johnny are both the anti-heroes. It's neither or, which perfectly fucking... Oh, I can't get into it. Villain group. Worst villain group. You're not gonna be happy with this one. I'm gonna go with the Rock Humans. Which is gonna be any Part 8 opinion I have is going to be controversial because... But yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of the Rock Humans. They don't... In my head, they never felt like a group. They just felt like people who just so happened to be part of the same race. So they just hung out. And individually, some of them are really good. Daimyo Togogo... Fuck's his name? The Vitamin C guy. You'll know who I'm talking about. Picture here. He's really good. His fight was amazing. In fact, it was probably the peak of Part 8. But it all just went downhill from the Vitamin C fight. The first Rock Human we meet, the one with the headband shit. Also put him here. He's pretty cool. That guy that fingered Yasuho. I'm not completely caught up with Part 8. I haven't read the last 2 chapters, but he seems like a fucking Chad. But besides that, I mean, what have the Rock Humans really got for themselves? Like, think about this for a real second. What is the theme of the Rock Humans? What do they have in common? What's the point? It's nothing. Nothing. Literally nothing. Nothing. Best villain group? Oh, the best villain group, you ask? The best villain. Oh, the best villain group. Oh, well, I wonder, what could be the best villain group? Hey, do you know the best villain group? The best villain group? Oh, man, I don't know. What could it be? What could that, Passion. Obviously, like, come on. Passion. They just felt so competent. They just felt like they had their shit together. They were elite assassins. In the Giacchio fight, he evolved his stance like twice, I think, which is something we'd only seen from protagonists at that time. And the way that they all just got killed one by one, these elite assassins, and then eventually you find out that they are basically the future of Bruno's gang. Like, it just hits so perfectly. Risotto's death just has this kind of tragedy to it, as we just see this entire group just be slaughtered by the gang. And sure, there isn't a lot connecting them, but you do have characters like Prosciutto and Pesci who just have this beautiful relationship, and you see Pesci grow as a person, and it's just, it's so good. And the anime, however much I critique the JoJo anime, the anime definitely expanded on them perfectly. I just adored every single scene they added of Passion. And David Productions, this is me thanking you. You're welcome. You're not gonna get those very often, so cherish it while you have it. Did somebody say power systems? I'm just gonna be honest. Worst power system? Hamon. No question about it in my mind. Hamon was just so limited. It's just binded Araki in this kind of cage where he had to write around Hamon instead of with it. Part 2 just took Hamon as far as it possibly could. And, you know, there's always those people who are like, oh, Araki should have kept Hamon for part 3. It was so good. But realistically, Hamon ran its course, and I'm glad it ended while it did, because Araki was clearly running out of ideas. And I like Hamon, don't get me wrong. I like Hamon. It clearly has the least potential out of any of the power systems. And that can't be helped, you know. It's just Hamon by nature was just very limiting. And I'm glad Araki moved on to other ideas, because, you know, otherwise JoJo probably would have gotten really stale really quickly. Which, as we get into the best power system, oh, it's probably gonna be Spin, you fucking stillball runtard. The Spin is so good. No, actually, my favorite power system is stands. I love stands. I think they're possibly one of the best power systems in all of manga. I know that's kind of a bold statement. No, definitely be top 3, no question about it. Yeah, I know the Spin, you know, is kind of the Chad one. Everybody loves the Spin, but in my head, the Spin was really poorly explained. It was really vague. It was just the power to spin things. Didn't really seem like it could go anywhere. And, you know, stands have always been here. They've always stayed here. Araki's always been able to find new, immersive stand powers. The whole concept of stands changed in part 7. Where it was much less about the stand itself and more about how the user can use the ability it gives it. I don't know, stands, I love stands, man. I don't care if I'm, you know, not a big Chad for fucking thinking the Spin's the best, but hey, man, I'm a stand boy. Main villain. Start with the worst villain, which is, this kills me, because I love all JoJo villains to the point where I could write a whole essay about fucking cars of all characters, which, by the way, everyone sleeps on Cars. I swear to God. Cars is top 4. Yeah, top 4. Top 4. That's where I'll put Cars. Cars is a top 4 JoJo villain. I fucking said it, okay? It's out there. But the worst JoJo villain is, I'm sorry to say, Diavolo. I'm sorry, bro, but you just kind of became a whiny baby after your face was introduced. Diavolo in the shadows was kind of like this impossible figure to beat. You know what I mean? He was just this absolute figure of, you're gonna fucking die. Like, he one-shot Bruno. Bruno had no chances with him. He was so cool, he was so mysterious, and then his face got shown, and he just became this baby, just, oh, I need the arrow, it's mine, the fate, it's mine, it's fate. I don't know, he just seemed like some whiny little baby who expected the world to deliver everything he needed. Like, yeah, I get it, you got a pretty cool stand, but that doesn't mean, like, the fucking universe is gonna gift you everything. And the moment something doesn't go his way, he just has a temper tantrum about how, oh, this isn't supposed to be how it is. Although there is a lot to love about Diavolo, especially when we're talking about Doppio as well. The fact that Diavolo was birthed from, like, Doppio's insecurities about him never having a family and his mother rejecting him. So that is why Diavolo hates Trish and wants to kill Trish, because he has a fear of family and attachment, and he thinks it's gonna, you know, cause danger to him the way he killed his mother. He thinks Trish is gonna do that to him. But we should just move on to the best villain, which, if you see a nice little, like, pattern going through this, you might see who the best villain's gonna be. Valentine is 100% the best JoJo villain. And I know I just talked about favorites like at the start of the video, but best. I said best. Valentine is the best JoJo villain. How would I talk about Valentine other than conviction, dedication, the willpower to take the napkin first? That is what Valentine is all about. He will damn his own soul to protect and to make sure his entire country thrives. That's his entire purpose. He takes the role of president serious as fuck. Like, Valentine is not a good person. I agree with that statement. But his motives are much more righteous than Johnny's. And, okay, I know we're going to talk about the rape scene. Oh, the rape. Oh, he raped an underage girl. Rape scene. Okay, well, let's really break down that scene. So, first of all, this 14-year-old girl was literally disguised as his wife. So let's get that out of the way first. Second of all, he did it for America, okay? He didn't do it for him, he did it for America. But no, literally. So, this 14-year-old girl was disguised as his wife, and he suspected that it wasn't even the girl, but someone was disguised as his wife. So he was like, well, let's test it. If this person is disguised as my wife, let's see how far they go. Let's see if they'll fuck me, right? So he fucks this 14-year-old So he fucked this 14-year-old girl, and then it's like, oh, he raped her. Like, well, I mean, okay, yeah, he did rape her. I don't know why I'm defending this. What the fuck is wrong with me? Either way, Valentine is just straight up Senator Armstrong levels of just fucking Chad. This guy has the American flag fucking, like, burnt onto his back. Like, this is straight up Rob Lucci shit, which, oh, by the way, Rob Lucci, which just shows, like, he is the most patriotic person on the planet. And I know, like, in real life, I hate patriotism and I hate being proud of your country in real life, but in manga, it's so fucking cool. If you could take one lesson away from this, it would probably just be, don't fuck with this senator. Oh, now for the fun one, best and worst JoJo, which I can now explain what I mean by that, because, you know, obviously I have protagonists, and then I have JoJo. Let's explain the difference between them. So a protagonist is the acting main character, you know, the person whose perspective we see, who we can relate to. They drive the story, they're the main focus of the story. However, the JoJo is it's the JoJo. I don't know how I can but that begs the question, what is a JoJo? And I don't know, this is kind of personal to me. Different people might have a different definition, is my point. So don't take this as kind of the main point. The way I see it, the JoJo, he's a Gary Stu. You know, he's OP, everyone loves him, but he's not really about the fame, you know, he's humble, he's cool, he's far off, he's unreachable. That is what a JoJo is. I shouldn't say he as well, because Jolene is also a huge Chad. A JoJo is kind, a JoJo is chivalrous, a JoJo always helps those in need. A JoJo fucks, that's the main one. And a JoJo is just badass. And, I don't know, in my head, no one really solidifies this as much as Josuke from part 4. This man is the number one JoJo, and I will explain myself. So what? Let's go through all the JoJos and see what they kind of bring to the table. Let's see how they define JoJo-ness. We have Jonathan in part 1. Jonathan is kind, he's chivalrous, he's caring. So, we have that. Then we have Joseph. Joseph, he's smart, he's witty, and he's a motherfucking badass. So we have that in the pool, Adam. Then we have Jotaro. He's cool. He's calm. He's collected. Okay? He fucks. That's still the main one to focus on here. And I don't know. In my head, Josuke just combines all of those. He's intelligent. He's cool. He cares. He does everything right. He just hits all the nails on the spots for what makes a JoJo. You can see me waving my arms around like a man-child. That's how he makes me feel. Can't you see that? I don't know, I just want to dedicate some portion to my best boy Josuke, because you know, even if he's not the best protagonist, he's number one in my heart, and that's all that matters, doesn't it? Oh, and for worst JoJo, Johnny. I don't know. Now for parts, which, oh god, this is gonna be a long one. So worst part, probably gonna go with either Stone Ocean or Stardust Crusaders, because they both have the same problems in my head. That being just the feeling of being dragged out, especially by the terrible fights. Now, I will give part 3 this. It has a very good selection of fights, but it's in between just really terrible or mediocre ones. What I will say part 6 has over 3 is part 6's main cast and general plot, especially villain, are much better. Part 6's Jolene, Weather Report, Anasui, Foo Fighters, Pucci, Emporio. Where Stardust Crusaders has Polnareff, You see what I mean though. So I would probably say Stardust Crusaders is the worst part, which, I mean, I like Stardust Crusaders a lot, but there had to be a worst part is, you know, the main point here. And for all you smart asses that want to say part 1, I will have you know, part 1 is the 3rd best JoJo part. Yeah, I said it. It goes 7, 4, 1. Yeah, and what? Find me in the fucking comments if you're harder. I will defend part 1 till I die. You probably already guessed what my favorite part is. I did just kind of say what my favorite part is, that being 7. And for really good reason. Part 7 just, it blows me away. And for good reason. Part 7 is just, it's magical, bro. Part 7 is the perfect reboot to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the way I see it, especially when we're talking about part 1 and 2. Johnny Joestar is the opposite of everything Jonathan Joestar stood for. He's not righteous, he's selfish, he's not good, he's bad. He's not strong, he's weak, he cries all the time. Oh my god, he cries. And Diego, while similar to Dio, is so different. And his relationship with Johnny is also so far out from Dio and Jonathan. Dio and Jonathan were these brothers that just fucking hated each other, but at the same time, Jonathan was just trying to reach out to Dio, trying to find the good within him, despite them being on these opposite ends of the spectrum. Whereas Diego and Johnny are, yes, Diego might be a bit more evil than Johnny. They're still both in that morally grey area, which is really the important part here. They're both so ambiguous and interesting, complicated, and it's just so perfect. And can we talk about the absolute upgrade Will and Caesar got to fucking Gyro Sapelli? These guys are nothing compared to Gyro. No one is anything compared to Gyro. Gyro's the best guy ever. Steel Ball Run, it just works on so many levels. It's so unlike anything JoJo had ever given us at this point. And if I'm being honest, if it wasn't titled JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I would understand that. It could be its own story. It doesn't need the JoJo title or the JoJo history to stand by itself. It's just so amazing. Gyro's death is honestly one of the saddest moments in the entire series, and it hasn't even been animated yet. And it makes me look back at the whole rest of JoJo and just think, why do I even like this shit? This isn't even Steel Ball Run. It's fucking worthless. And JoJo is a good ass series. So the fact that it has this effect on me where it makes all the other parts just look like doo-doo, like, it's so special. I'm such a fucking weeb. Look how emotional I am talking about goddamn fucking manga. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here. Tell me if you hate this video, because I know I do. This was a mistake. I'm never gonna do this again. Literally never. This is the last video like this. I'm so bad at it. Oh my god. I don't know what I'm making next. Don't ask. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's empty. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, it's slimy. Ooh. Goo.